Here's what 9,000 pounds of aerial firefighting liquid does to a car. Jalopnik. Firefighting aircraft have been key in California's battle against the wildfires raging in Los Angeles over the past week. An array of aerial firefighters have dropped thousands of gallons of red fire retardant liquid on LA in recent days, but have you ever wondered what all that liquid might do to a car? Below are your comments. A car in an area needing an airdrop is either a cinder already or will be in minutes. Effects on humans and animals would be my concern. Those pilots have awesome bleep, he nailed that SUV square on the first pass, thumbs up. You want your car painted red? We can do it for $29.95, Earl Scheib. What would the damage be without the drop? Incineration. The idea is to save what's ahead of the fire, not what is already about to be consumed. Thank you, Cal Fire. That's a great video. Thank you for keeping us informed. I live across the highway from a Cal Fire station. It's the best feeling in the world when they are tapped for fire season. Be safe. Revolving Hearts, United States. Revolving Hearts. A friend of mine was mowing a defensive area around his house in Sugarloaf, Colorado, in the mountains above Boulder, Colorado, when the call came in about the Black Tiger fire in Boulder Canyon in 1989. He was on the volunteer fire department, so he went to the fire. He heard on his radio that the fire was at his house. His girlfriend's house a few houses away got a direct hit from an airplane drop. Their two houses were the only ones that survived the fire in the small town. The drop blew out all the windows on one side of her house and the retardant made a mess in and on her house, but at least she had a house to clean when their other neighbors were now homeless. Climate change is turning firefighters into modern-day heroes, surpassing even our own military in so many regards because their results are visible and affect people directly. Not to say the military is not number one, but the perception is changing. But all the political chatter from Republicans proves something very clearly. They, more than Democrats, use mind control techniques to win public favor. Everyone knows that during a tragedy is not the time to point fingers, afterwards is accepted as per decorum. But the right want to use the event as a way of punishing and bringing CA leaders under their control. So they blast out nasty political messages to get them to stick in the public's mind. This is what I take exception with Trump over. He plays mind games all of the time, and he is quite good at it because look how many follow him. There is nothing earnest about him. If you happen, however, to be a person who is not a follower per se by nature and maybe even a bit you are turned off by this party and even disgusted. Flock the car, I wonder what it does to our health. I was stationed in Alaska for short time while I was in Army. I was on fire detail twice. The first time we were sent on fire detail was out to a tundra grass fire that the Air Force in the area had started. Our fire marshal warned us that fire retardant was coming in and to get off the field. Try running on the tundra, ha ha. The first time I don't recall how many times I tripped and fell down. I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. With each running step hit the top of mound, not depression in the soil. It is pretty darn tricky. Yep, one wants stay out the path of that stuff. I've had it rain on me. It's messy, but when dropped from a few hundred feet above, it disperses and becomes quite harmless. It's nice to see military aircraft still in use. The turbine of the is always a nice sound. He should have parked there. Well, don't take shelter in a car. I had no idea about the effects of a drop. Too many Hollywood movies, I guess. That's great, but in actual firefighting operations they aren't dropping that low. Fire retardant is designed to slow down fires. Who cares what happens to a car? I want to know what this stuff is going to do to the groundwater and how it will affect the environment in the coming years. Using chemicals in a battle with Mother Nature is the most detrimental thing you can do because nature will always win in the end. In the long run, the remnants of flame retardant will negatively affect both animals and humans. Wow, you don't want to be anywhere nearby when that hot load is dumped. Whoever owned that Ford Expedition got their vehicle completely totaled by that firefighting liquid. That's their fault by leaving the SUV there. I'm pretty sure the fire would still be worse. I had no idea. Forget the cars, think about the soil, the water supply, the fishes in those ponds, lakes, rivers. Once dried, might turn into powder, future winds pick it up and into the air for human to breathe. Environmental disaster, not knowing the long-term effects. Now show what that same vehicle would look like if it was engulfed in flames. Amazing pilots. In the aftermath of the Deepwater Horizon oil disaster in the Gulf, they spread a chemical that the wind blew onto the shore that caused what was called the blue flu because people were turning blue lack of oxygen. It should be noted that only part of that water drop touched the SUV. Had the full weight of it made contact, I'm sure it would have flattened it and caused it to roll. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.